Hello, my name is Dominic Duff, and this is pretty much an analysis of the rough cut, the assembly edit of our trailer. So basically, I've literally just got the YouTube video here, and I'm just going to go through it and kind of give my reactions as to what I think works, what I think doesn't work, and what I think we need to improve before we have the final product. So I think first off here, we went for kind of a still shot for here, but if you look very carefully you can see there is a little bit of shake here. So it's not the best kind of still shot, but for all intents and purposes it does work, especially when you've got the motion of the trains. It kind of adds a little bit more motion into the shot. Because, I know some of the specification is that we need to show clear use to be able to use tripods, and that is something I'll get onto a bit later. So here we get the ident coming in. So I do have a small issue here just with, you can kind of see here, just from the way that I was working on the ident and then Lewis was putting it into the edit, we had a bit of a clash with trying to get the PNG sequence to work so that we could overlay it on the way it is. And so we need to kind of fix this. We need to figure out how to kind of sort out its basically clipping here, because I don't know if it's just because I've made the edit the ident that I make it noticeable, but to me it is very noticeable. It kind of flicks as well, in my opinion. I don't know if that is just me overreacting to it or what, but there's small fisheye lens on it, comes back in. Basically the idents are, as I looked at in my trailer, as I looked at in my ident research, I kind of kept very true to what I was looking at in terms of we wanted to keep it simplistic, but we also wanted to have that kind of theme behind it, and the thing we went with in the end was nature.
So me and Dylan broke up the other day.
So we got a fade in. Now that is a convention that I saw in thriller trailers when I was doing my trailer analyses. You do tend to have fades in your trailers a lot. Most of the time it's to, have a passage of time or to add some sort of emphasis to it, and so we have got the fade in there.
I couldn't deal with it anymore. But Peter's taking me out tomorrow, and I don't know what we're doing, but...
So another thing is this, currently I can tell is using the old version of the Viewfinder music I made. So originally, just so that Lewis had something to cut to, I made a really quick, simple version of the track I wanted to make, the Viewfinder track, and then I finished it up later, and it is now a released track. But as far as I can tell, this is the old one. It'll be a lot more obvious later in, I think, but that needs to be changed because right now it's a very simplistic soundtrack. You can tell it's not particularly high quality. I know the full version isn't particularly high quality either, but it's definitely a lot higher quality than this one.
It's just take my mind off of things, so that'd be cool.
Once again, we have a kind of steady shot here, but once again there is just a little bit of shake just to add that bit of motion that we're looking for.
But, we'll see. Anyway, see you in a bit, guys.
So there you go, we've got our titles. So once again, this is used to separate action between areas. So before this we've got Samantha talking to the camera, and then just after it
we're heading to London now.
Them at the train station, so it's a good way to cut between the two scenes.
So, do you want to get a creamy hot chocolate?
Yeah, that's cool. Quickly, like trains too.
So, obviously, the acting isn't perfect, but it is kind of what it is, and as this is kind of representing a vlog, it doesn't really need to be perfect because a vlog can have any kind of characteristics. The vlogger can kind of act in any way, it just depends on their personality, really. You can kind of tell quite easily that it's acting, but it does still work. We've got an amazing transition here, just between, if we go back here, we've got Peter drinking the hot chocolate, and then it just goes down perfectly in that transition there. Basically, when we were trying to film this, Lewis tried to keep getting as much natural reaction as possible, which is why you kind of see, for example, that laugh there that seemed very genuine, because basically what Lewis was trying to do is he's just trying to get natural reaction, so it seemed as realistic as possible, being a film about vlogging, and vlogging being your real reactions. So you can see we've kept this very narrative, as film trailers tend to go. They keep very narrative for part of it, and then when it gets into the kind of tense bit, which will be probably around here, you do get that bit where it isn't fully narrative. You still have the narrative in there, but it focuses more on the kind of thrillery side of it. So here we got our first little bit of text. So as I said, you do often have the production company or the text or whatever it might be cut into the logo. So this is what we're doing here, and that is also represented by this shot before. So you can already kind of see what's going on.
Let's take him to Greenwich. It's gonna be sick.
That's alright, that's alright. There's a record store around the corner, so
Yeah, that's
maybe
cool,
we'll
that's
enjoy
cool.
that.
Yeah, spicy stuff. Come on, guys, let's go.
Let's go.
There you go. So we got these kind of stalkerish sort of shots. You know they're being followed, and you know that that's gonna tie into in a minute what will be the thrillerish sort of part of the trailer. We tried to split into what would seem very realistically like a sort of very well cut up vlog, so having not just the simple shots in there like them walking into the store and the camera looking up at Luke's character Peter. So there is definitely the feeling of a real vlog being portrayed inside this trailer. Once again, I need to talk about right now. In this cut, there are not a lot of tripod shots, and so when we went into the second filming session, which still needs to be edited, we made sure we tried to get a lot more tripod shots in there. So I brought down my tripod, Peter brought down his camera, and we just filmed as many tripod shots that would fit in with the film as possible. So we filmed things like hanging up missing poster signs. We had an overhead shot of the train station, and so we kind of just took it from there.
But look at the view.
So another thing here, the audio, you can hear the wind. That is firstly kind of natural that is first kind of naturally diegetic sound, but at the same time you have got to consider that it does mess with the audio a little bit. It doesn't sound professional, but yeah, it doesn't sound fully professional. That might be something we need to fix. It might be something that kind of works, and it does make it seem more authentic as a vlog, and we'll have to kind of think about that.
We made it, and it looks... What is this weather?
Horrific. It's absolutely awful.
Something else I want to point out with the music, as I say, there is already a different track, but you can definitely notice that the hi-hats and stuff in this mix of the music have not been very professionally mixed, so you do notice very much the hi-hats and the kind of high synths over everything else, which, as I say, I did kind of sort out in the final track, but in this edit it is noticeable.
Race you to the bench.
Oh, what?
Once again, a simple thing to point out is that it is noticeable acting, but, you know, if we get the chance to reshoot, we will reshoot that. If not, it's kind of what we're with.
What? There's benches like right there. What the hell? Okay. Wow.
Also, another thing is maybe this camera shot was a bit zoomed in. The reason this is because there is a part in this where the camera is dropped, and as far as the camera being dropped goes, we didn't want to use an expensive camera. So Lewis and I both have these Sony Ligrea cameras. They are, not Sony, these Canon Ligrea cameras. They're very small, they're very compact, and they're very sturdy, so we knew that dropping them would be fine, but we obviously definitely did not want to drop a DSLR. So we were using these cameras. The problem with them is that they are very sturdy, but they have a very zoomed in lens, and you can't check just how zoomed in that lens is, because to make sure that they didn't break, we had to flip the screen in, and to flip the screen in meant that Elizabeth could not see exactly what she was filming.
It's taking a turn for the worst. Great. Smash.
And then here, as to say, the music not finished, the whole soundtrack, the whole audio of this is not finished anywhere near. That's something that I need to go through with Lewis at some point. but you do notice it's the kind of drum beat and the Viewfinder soundtrack cross over here, not very comfortably. As I say, I will be going through that with Lewis, and we will sort that out together. I'll try and specifically on my end sort that out because I'm sorting out the audio of this track.
Shing. Where's he gone?
There you go. Then you get the second bit of that text of when they aren't over you. So once again, we're cutting between what will be the next bit of the action and getting you kind of prepared for this next shot where kidnapping. So there you go. Drop the camera, which is what we were worried about. We have got that. We have got that scream that we re-recorded simply because the original audio was not very clear, and the one problem with this is that you do notice that it is a re-record, but it was better than the original audio, and we have tried a few times to record it and make sure it kind of fits in, and this is kind of the best we had. So what I should say is this is the thrillery sort of bit of the trailer which I was on about, and it's incomplete. We want to film a lot more to make it seem a lot more like a thriller, because so far it has just been narrative, and luckily as things go, thriller films trailers tend to be quite narrative, but right now it needs this, but it's just, if you look through it, it's just kind of not done. The other thing is, I kind of made a drum beat for this bit that was made to build tension, and then it just kind of ended up sounding like the build up to some sort of drum and bass music track. So once again, I will be fixing that. I'm going to be trying to make a cinematic drone. I haven't quite figured it out yet, but once again, this is the assembly edit, so it is going to be different. There are going to be a lot of changes, and it should be the final product should be a lot better. So it keeps going like that for this whole thing. Kind of the whole thriller bit isn't done. This is the bit that we still need to film, because we had our first filming day, and that first filming day was simply getting that narrative bit down, and since then we have been filming more. As I say, there might be some more that we still need to film, but that just needs to be edited into the next cut. And this final issue, so we come into the title at the end. I think, to be honest, I think I did a good job with the title on the end. I do like the animation I put into it. However, the music definitely does not fit. We just had this thrillery, or in the final cut we will have just had this thrillery sort of big moment where all the tensions come up and it's going to have come into a cliffhanger, and then you've just got this happy little music at the end. So what I have done now is I've very recently made a kind of sadder, kind of more eerie, slower tempo version of this music, and that will be cut into the final cut so that it doesn't have that happy tone at the end, and it has that kind of more eerie, sad tone that we're looking for. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So, to sum up most of it, it needs work on the soundtrack and on those tripod shots. There's way too many shaky shots right now. But on the successes, I mean, we've got the mise-en-scène and cinematography we're looking for, and we've done the best job that we can to get that authentic sort of vlogging look for the narrative. So obviously we can have, it's not going to be so much vlogging for the thriller part, because vlogging just would not work for what we're looking for. However, for the narrative, I think we've kind of got the vlogging style down, exactly what we're looking for.